For council overall. People were fairly satisfied with their individual councillors, with the mayor's performance, but council as a whole was not scoring well.
Shows why polls are very confusing, because you can probably read that to be anything you want it to be. And you know what I'm going to say. The only poll that matters is in October 2021. It's always helpful to understand the pulse of what people are doing, and there's a lot of data that can help us understand that, including the citizen satisfaction surveys that remain extraordinarily high, including the work that we do to understand what people in community are thinking about. And what I think is really important here is to understand that most people, as I understand it from the reporting I've heard, are very happy with their councillor, they're very happy with the mayor, that these are approval ratings that other politicians and other orders of government don't get. And I think it's important for us to really understand that while there are challenges here, we're not living at the end of the world. I started council this morning by talking about my New Year's resolution. And my New Year's resolution is to be unfashionable, which is not hard for me. But it's to be unfashionable in a world where the fashion is for divisive political rhetoric, for the end of the world is nigh, for this is the worst place in the world to live. None of those things are true. We live in one of the very best places in the world. We have built an incredible place here in this country, in this province, in this city. And it's time for us to talk more about the remarkable things that we've done here. And we see that when we ask citizens if they're proud of living here, even what they think about their politicians. And I think that's a good thing.
Could we get a comment, sir, about returning Olympic money that's been spent?
Yet again, we had an interesting comment from the provincial government on this, which I have no idea where that came from. Clearly, the books are still being closed. The final reporting is being done. We'll see how things play out. I'll remind everyone that the city already spent all of its 1/3 because we were the first ones in. So clearly the city, if anyone gets any money back, the city's the first one to get money back. And so we'll sort all of that out. But what's more important than that is that now that we're not going to have the Olympics, I want to know from the provincial government and from anyone who wants to be the provincial government, what's your plan for Calgary? How are we going to get out of this unemployment situation that we're in? How are we going to recraft the economy, and how are we going to renovate those sports venues to make sure that they're good for another generation of kids? And I think it's incumbent on the provincial government to answer those questions.
So are you saying it's your position now that if there is any unspent money out of the $30 million, that it should be split 3 ways? Is that it, or not returned?
Let's just see. I have no idea what the numbers are going to look like, and I think it's really presumptuous of anyone to make any assumptions until we've seen the report.